You were traveling in the last week, yeah?
I was away almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Whereabouts?
South America, Central America, New York. It's all over.
Yeah.
It's the summer season for only life is quite good.
Right.
We have events in every single country that we're in. That's fun.
And Omnilife has a presence in the United States,
yes.
Even though Herbalife is obviously there as well, yeah. ¿Listos?
Ready. Recording.
Okay. ¿Estás contento con el título?
Tal vez en 2 minutos que se tape con esa nube vamos a tener mejor vista. Y ahorita no hay nadie de este lado entrenando. Necesitamos que se vean los jugadores detrás de él, ¿no?
Sí, pero pienso que ellos van a mover mucho alrededor del campo.
Ok.
¿Es contento?
It's a little barn check.
Yeah. How long is it? 2 minutes?
Maybe.
I'm sorry about this. We've tried like 3 or 4 positions around the pitch, and ended up here. But it just the contrast between the sun and the shade is a bit of a killer. So this is your first day back, second day back?
Second day.
And first day back with Las Chivas.
I have to leave again tomorrow.
Oh really? So we're lucky we got you.
Back until Sunday night. I have Ecuador and Colombia.
Oh right, okay. And I saw you signed we're going to sign 2 new players today.
We did.
You did?
That's nice.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, let's get started. I think it should go in. I think it's fine for now. It'll just get a little better.
Okay, I'm recording.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was your early career, basically, in the business world. How did you begin as a businessman?
I guess I was 8 years old or 9 years old, something like that. I guess my first good business was I had a dog. She was a sheep, and she got pregnant. Someplace in the street. She escaped from the house and she got pregnant. And we had the puppies, and my mother didn't want them. We had 8 puppies, and so I decided I had to sell them. So I started a dog business. And I guess from there, I just started looking for any opportunity that I could make some extra money. That's how it started.
And is it true that you sort of during one stage of your career you were a food vendor on the street and you were selling tacos?
Well, no tacos. Is tortas ahogadas. The main ingredient for that is pork, fried pork, and I was cooking the fried pork for those vendors. And I have my own place in the street. It was called Plaza Tepeyac. And I used to work from 4 o'clock in the morning till midnight.
And how old were you at that stage?
I was fat, sick, and went broke.
And how old were you?
34, 35.
Wow. So you were doing that at quite a sort of mature-ish age.
Yeah, because I worked for a conglomerate, and those times it was the largest and the biggest. And I got fired in one of the crises in Mexico, which at the beginning I was sad. At the end I was glad because it gave me the opportunity to rethink over and decide that I was going to depend on myself for the rest of my life instead of depending on somebody else. So that's how I started trying different businesses until I ended up with the fried meat. I stayed with the fried meat a few years. It was a good business, then it became bad and really bad until I went broke.
And this was all the time in Guadalajara?
This was in Guadalajara. The company, I used to live in different cities in Mexico, but my own business was in Guadalajara.
And then you obviously began working for Herbalife at one point.
I started looking for a healthy way to be healthy, and I became a Herbalife distributor here in Mexico. And I started with a lot of success, but then it got shut down, the company, because of whatever reasons. It got shut down, and I went to work in El Paso, Texas, and I became, pretty good in the field of as a distributor, the fifth place in the US. Then I started getting tired of the tablets and the pills and the system I was working on, and also I wasn't too much agreeable with the marketing plan because it wasn't very close to the Latin American way of thinking and working. So that's how I became the idea of starting on life.
So what happened with that? I mean, you began a kind of an offshoot of Herbalife, and then it took off. I mean, how would you attribute that success? What do you think why do you think you were successful with this to such an extent?
Well, first of all, because of the products that we have. We are the only ones with the products that we have, and liquid vitamins, for instance, and coffee and tea, the different. Now we have over 80 products, but we started with one. First of all, the product. Second, the persistency. I'm very persistent, and I work every single day, and I did it. And also, they believe in myself and believe in people. And changing the system, the network marketing system, to a cultural way of living. Latin America is different from the US and different from most, all the culture are different. But in that sense, it was really different. And as you know, in that time that I started, the culture of self-employed wasn't that easy. So we changed a lot of things. We created a new system where we pay, for instance, every 2 weeks instead of every 4 weeks, twice a month, and different stuff. And mainly because I started working with the distributors closely, like almost the 6 million that we have in this moment. They have my phone number, and they can call me anytime they want. But those times it was a lot of help, and also the intensity of the work. I started working really intense every single day, visiting over 200 cities a year, and being very close to the distributors.
So, if there was one business ethic, business principle that guided you during that time, during the early time with OmniLife, what do you think that would be?
Taking care of people. Thinking everything that we did was thinking on people, how to benefit people, how to make it better, and always all the decisions based on them, and listen to my instincts of taking decisions on the products and so forth. I think that was the basics that we still keep today.
Mm-hmm. And then you got involved in football.
Yeah.
What was behind that? What was the motivation behind entering into a completely different kind of business?
Okay, the main motivation wasn't football. It's funny that it wasn't. Of course, we wanted to save the team. I'm from Guadalajara, the oldest team in Mexico, only national. It's very important. 27 million followers. In that time now we have about 37 million followers. But the main issue was a question that I made myself: how can I help change this country? And I analyzed that the football players become leaders, moral leaders in this country, and they become Beckham, became all the different stars. But if I was able to create leaders in Mexico, moral leaders that really help be an example for the kids in Mexico, we could really change the education in this country. So that's why we started.
And then how did you approach football as a businessman? What kind of principles did you employ?
Well, first of all, taking decisions without the passion of the sport, not taking decisions after a win game or lost game, taking decisions based on that the team had to make their own profits and their own money to be able to support itself, not becoming a hobby. which becomes a really expensive hobby, talking about football. So that was the main principle, how to make it work. And of course, with the amount of followers that we had, it wasn't that difficult.
What changes did you kind of bring in when you were checking that? Still a little way to go. But the shot's okay. You're happy with it?
¿Van a seguir o esperas?
So, but what practical changes did you bring in at an early stage when you approached football as a business? You approached the club as a business.
Well, we brought administration, and the salaries. We took away all the prices and all the premiums and all that. We leveled the income of the players. And on the marketing side, we made a very aggressive campaign since we started campaigning to buy the team, to convert it, to make it change and become a private ownership. So we made a big marketing issue. We got famous for that. We placing ads on the papers before the games and after the games. We've been making fun of our rivals. It worked.
And obviously this was 10 years ago that you first took over the club.
Almost 10 years.
How would you generalize the experience so far?
Difficult. It's a very difficult business because all the business involves people. OmniLife involves people, of course, but it's different. Here involves different grades of people. You have the players, you have the coaches, and then, which are a very special item because they are stars, they are icons, and all that. Then you have the fans, which in between 37 million, you have different opinions, tastes, and knowledge about football. So it's rather difficult to be able to please, and of course, when you start making big changes in anything you do, it becomes a threat to many people. So that's what happened. We brought yoga in, for instance, for the football team, and we brought other disciplines. Like now we have this Dutch team managed by Johan Cruyff, which is a big push and a big change and a big quality jump to the football. So it's been very difficult, to be honest. I would say 10 times more difficult than on the move.
And what are you most proud of, do you think, so far in 10 years?
That we have accomplished with the school, this bunch of kids that, like Chicharito is the first one of them, that are going to become the leaders on the field, to be able to change the image of it, to change the mentality of the kids. That's our accomplishment, and we have around 8 of them almost cooking and almost ready to become those leaders. So that's why we really are excited. We think people think change the way we do things in Chile.
And anything you regret so far? Any big regrets you have over the last 10 years?
Players that we let them go, and it wasn't time for them to leave, for instance. I regret not knowing enough football, the time that some decisions were taken. I regret that I trusted people that football is a very let's say on the results, because everybody get measured. And it's funny, if the team wins, it's not my responsibility. They lose is mine. So it's difficult to balance all of that. Also, to be able to be mature enough to understand the criticism, some of them with the lack of support, and some of them with support. But it's not easy to be a public person. Everybody, has have an opinion on football. So it's rather,
What about the sale of Chicharito? Is that something you regret? I mean, you're very...
not at all. No, because we did a good deal, and I know that money-wise it's worth a lot more. But I'm the one that thinks that somebody's going to make the last buck always. And I think by the time he came 1 year early. If he could have stayed with us 1 year, I would be happy. But Manchester United is Manchester United. We couldn't stop his opportunity to go there. And besides, he has a Chivas or Mexicans. He's an excellent player, excellent person. He's on a path of a lot of success. And that's one of our goals we have, that the kids in Mexico will relate to the success in a different way. More moral way, with principles and matureness, and really football that our profession that will help be successful. So I don't regret it. I think we will be well paid.
And obviously with the schools that you're running at the moment, you're trying to develop new leaders, new players for, and I guess sort of in some ways role models, as you say, for the country. At the same time, do you ever consider changing the rules of the club to allow foreign players?
Well, actually, even I have a statute of limitations in the corporation where if I die or we sell the team or whatever happens in change of hands, nobody can change. And I think besides would be stupid to do it. It's tough, it's difficult, it's obstacles in success to be able to have only Mexicans, but that's the way it's going to stay.
The other thing I was going to ask you, you obviously had a very distinct philosophy when you were running OmniLife. Did your business philosophy change somewhat when you joined the football business? How did the experience change you as a businessman?
Well, the philosophy hasn't changed, but it changed, made me more patient, made me understand that things have to change sometimes, and not as fast as you can change. In OmniLife, I was the leader and I was the one that changed it, and I started with nothing, so there was no position to any changes. I just have to be able to convince people that how we were and how we wanted and where we could go. In football it's different. It's a structure, it's an all business, it's a very small club, like Toby. It's only 80 members in the club and only 280 players, protagonists of the club. So it wasn't easy. I thought it was going to be easier to go there and start giving ideas and change things. And it wasn't. But at the end, I learned how to be patient and how to go along with the changes and how to help from the inside and from the outside.
You're in Mexico and in Guadalajara, you can be considered quite a divisive figure. Lots of people speak very highly of you and love what you've done for Las Chivas, and other people say that you're too focused on the business side of football. How do you respond to that? You must have heard of that before.
Well, yeah, I know, because it's funny. There is one thing to understand: if there is no business, there is no football, no team. Because it's a very expensive thing to be able to support just on my pocket, and it would die. So I had to make it strong first in the marketing. At the same time, I had to be able to get results. I mean, we got a championship. We got already 3 finals. We lost 2 of them and we won 1. But we needed some football results, but at the same time we needed some commercial results. When I got the team was completely broke. The brand was wasted. It was a really bad situation. The sponsors were paying peanuts for the brand. The uniform had 13 announcers, and the uniform it was ugly besides. It wasn't money making. I can tell you that it was a guy that was paying $40,000 a year to be on the stockings. So I had to make business decisions to make it strong and make it very powerful. And that's what we have. Now we have a healthy financial team that is able to do what we did yesterday, spend $8 million in a couple of players, which for the British market is very inexpensive. For the Mexican market is prices that you have never seen. But I have to invest that money in the players and being able to do it. We have to make a stadium that we made and all of that. So it has to be a balance. And also, I am a true believer in the youngs. So some of the fanship is not very patient about waiting some of the years to mature and become champions. And it's funny, you know, Barcelona is a story that we followed. It took them 4 or 5 years to accomplish what they finally accomplished. And so I understand it's the impatience of the fan.
And you obviously extended. Sorry, start it again. You obviously expanded the franchise to the United States, to MLS. How have you found that experience, and how does it compare with the business of football here in Mexico?
Oh, it's a whole different ballgame. Making business in the US is a whole different ballgame. Making business the way they do, and the partners that we have, and a new league. There's different goals. First of all, you have to be able to have soccer, like they call it, or football in the US, be enough fan base to make it an affordable business and sustainable. So it's a whole different approach. And, the mentality of the performance is a whole different approach. It's more executive, less passionate. I guess that's what is missing a little bit in the MLS. Some of the passion that the rest of the football in the world hasn't.
There's been some rumours you might sign Raul to your team in the United States. Would you care to comment, or is that just outlandish?
No, it's just rumours.
Right. On the subject of your public image, you know, a lot of people see you as a guy who hires and fires managers. You can be very outspoken. Do you see yourself as a controversial figure? Do you understand why people see you as that?
Yes. You know, we have one side of the whole issues, and that's a cultural issue. Around the world, mainly in Mexico. Mexico, we're a country that was raised for the last 70 years by the government. The education was to raise followers. So leadership is hard to understand and hard to accept. It's funny, but Mexicans are kind of, if you are successful, they're waiting for you to fail. It's kind of the desire, the inside desire of consoling themselves about success. So that part I understand it. Second, we fire people because they like jobs. They agree on the project, and by the time we implement the project, they go against it. For example, we were talking with my chief this morning, yoga. When I brought yoga into Chivas, it was a real fight to be able to accept it. And they would say, I accept it, but they wouldn't do it. Or when I said, let's promote youngsters, let me put an example, Chicharito. He debuted in the team because I forced the coach to do it. They didn't believe it. You know. Actually, he almost quits football because of that. And I was amazed because I don't know too much about football, but I could see the guy, I could receive the talent he's got, the personality he's got, and I had to obligate the coach to debut him. So, you know, that's the main reason. And I'm very into things, I'm very persistent, and I am a true believer what I believe, and I listen to people, and when I listen to people, I listen to be supported, and I wasn't. Many decisions were taken in Chivas based on the knowledge, and they did a lot of mistakes. So that's why it has happened. So I do understand that many of the fans don't have all the information that I do. So I know the judgment is wrong, but that's what it is. I mean, it's a very easy business. You win, you raise all the negative approaches. You lose, you get all the negative approaches, no matter what you do. So we're in the business of making it win.
And 2 minutes. Going forward, we're approaching next season. Obviously, last season was not a great season for you. How do you see the future going forward for this year?
I'm really excited because I'm still convinced that we have a great team, a good team with youngsters that now have a big experience, much more than last season. And the negative results give a lot of experience for people. The human is, we learn more about the failures than the success. Also with the new recruits that the team, the coaches told us to buy, we accomplished that. I think we have the right combination to become champions.
And quickly, Johan Cruyff, are you happy with him so far?
I'm excited. I'm really happy. He's a very congruent man, and I think he's the wisest guy in the business. And the way he works, with the discipline he works, with the knowledge he works, it's hard not to be in love with what they're doing.
And I guess last question, if we do have time. I just wanted to get your take on Roman Abramovich, who I guess in a way is your opposite number in Europe. How would you sort of say he's run the team so far?
Well, I wish I could have his capital, first of all. I wouldn't that bad. But no, I think we approach it very differently. I'm trying to approach it to create an institution that will sustain itself, no matter the top of the institution, that the results accompany the greater goal that is this creation of leadership. And I think he sees still differently. He uses more money and as a tool than how we really do with education and all the different tools around it.
Perfect. Had to ask. Bueno?
Yeah. Of course, I would like to have some of the capital.
Yeah.
The
18 billion would go a long way. He sold Gazprom before.
He was obligated to, but
yeah, he didn't have much choice. But
he got to go pay.
Yeah. That was very interesting. Thank you very much for your time. Very, very interesting.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, great meeting you as well.
Gracias, don Jorge.
Gracias,
if there's any way we could get a couple of shots of you just for B-roll, I don't know what you'd normally do now, but podemos grabar un poquito con tu cámara B-roll del señor Vergara. ¿Sí?
Oye, ¿tú tienes un comentario para las
Este escrito, sí, podemos grabar
¿Hay vuelos para ahora?
Todo esto me lo pedí por tiempo ayer. Se pidió por Europa, por Iberia, entonces ya París.
No, pero Madrid, Barcelona hay puente aéreo.
Sí, ya nosotros le pedimos a Mónica que nos buscara. Pero el problema es que no huelga y que había ese tramo que es de los idiomas. No, está algo, pero sí, sí tomaron la decisión ellos.
No, está bien, digo, está claro por qué.
Hemos partido los vuelos, pero han estado medios.
Perfecto, no pasa nada.
Sí,
Ok.
está bien.
Are you going this way?
Ya. ¿Qué onda, chavo? ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué pasó?
Sí, Alex.
Ahora se pasó al otro. Ah, ¿qué están acabando?